Joao Neves to PSG is a here we go, confirmed by Fabrizio Romano in the last couple of minutes, which should now mean that Manuel Ugarte will join Manchester United. Also talking about Scott McTominay to Fulham with a £30 million bid set to be submitted. Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Lenny Yoro, plus loads more. But before we get into all that, please do me one small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 1,000 likes on this show. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm live every single day at 8:30, 1:30 and 6 PM UK time. If you want to keep up to date with all of your latest Man United transfer news and talks, make sure you get involved. Okay, let's jump straight on into it. And I want to react to this story immediately that just broke in the last couple of minutes about Scott McTominay. And I think it's going to bring a smile to all of you. I try my best to be positive. I try my best to bring the joy and not be toxic and all the rest of it. But I can only bring you the news that's actually there to bring you. And the story I've got for you is coming out from multiple different outlets in the last 30 minutes that apparently Fulham are set to submit a new bid for Scott McTominay. Drumroll, £30 million. I'll take it any day of the week. How does everyone feel about that? McTominay to Fulham for £30 million. I'm going to get a poll set up for the people who are watching live. And anybody watching back on repeat, let me know in the comment section. So it's going to be this. Are you happy with 30 million for McTominay? There we go. So any of you who are watching this back on repeat, obviously you can't get involved in the poll because the poll is only for live people. So you can let me know in the comment section. But I'll give you my opinion on this. I think 30 million is his fair market value, you know? I think Fulham are getting themselves a good deal. I think Manchester United are getting themselves a good deal. And I think generally everyone has to be happy with that. He's got 1 year left of his contract, 27 years of age. Manchester United have two options here. They either give McTominay a big new deal on probably bigger wages, 4 or 5 year contract, or they sell him. 100% profit, come through the youth academy. I think it's an absolute no-brainer. I really do. And the understanding that I've been told just before I went live is that apparently Manchester United will accept this bid from Fulham. The asking price was 30 million. There was obviously this story about him going to Galatasaray. I think that was wide of the mark. Galatasaray had submitted a bid, but it was £13 million. It was under half of what Manchester United were offering. So the likelihood of McTominay ever going to Galatasaray, I think, was probably very small. I said this like a month ago when Manchester United were first supposedly in talks with Galatasaray. I was thinking there is no way on earth a Turkish side is going to have the money to spend 30 million. That's like 40 million euros. It's just not possible. They don't have that type of money in Turkey. I know they're in the Champions League and all the rest of it, but like there just isn't the same money. There isn't the same interest in the Turkish league for them to be able to justify a £30 million deal. But yeah, I'm really happy about this. I think it's a win-win for everybody. That money will go a long way in our financial fair play situation this summer because it's 100% profit. We've never paid a transfer fee for McTominay. He's come through the youth academy. And it will be one of our biggest sales that we've done in a very long time. It will be bigger than the Dan James to Leeds deal, which I remember at the time, the fan base were in absolute hysteria that we got 30 million euros for Dan James. And I think that this McTominay one will kind of feel a little bit like that, you know? Obviously, Dan James, let's be honest, wasn't very good, I don't think. And I think 30 million euros for Dan James was absolute daylight robbery by us. But 35 million euros it will be for McTominay, £30 million. And I think if you actually properly think about it, I know some people really like McTominay and some people really dislike him. But generally, I think it's okay. £30 million in the bank. And what can we do with that money? Obviously, we can go for Ugarte. Maybe we can go for Zubamendi. Maybe we can go for Amrabat. There's plenty of options out there on the market. We'll talk about Ugarte a little bit later on in the video. But yeah, McTominay to Fulham looks like it will happen. £30 million. So that's the bit of positivity I've got for you guys this morning, this evening even. Obviously, there'll be some people watching who are like devastated by this news. They'll be like, I love McTominay. How can they get rid of him? But other than the fact that he plays for the badge, he runs and he works hard, I don't think there's much to like about him, to be honest. And that's not me being horrible. I think he's very limited. I think if you need a goal in the last 5 minutes of a game, great, bring him on and stick him in the box and he can cause trouble. But if you're playing at elite level football, which Manchester United want to get back to, right? McTominay isn't the guy to be starting in your midfield. I think we can all agree on that. He is a useful player, But for 30 million straight profit, we can't turn that down. We just simply can't. So yeah, as soon as we get a here we go or anything, obviously I will go live. So make sure you have your notification bell set. But 1 year left of his deal, £30 million. I don't think we can really argue with that. Digital Sports Update says, I like Scott McTominay, but it's time to move him on. Ellen says, I really like McTominay and I wish him luck in Fulham. That's the thing, right? I don't have a bad word to say about McTominay. He seems like a lovely guy. He has never slagged off the fans or got in any trouble off the pitch. Like, he's a model. I said this a couple of weeks ago, right? To me, Scott McTominay is the teacher's pet, you know? Do you remember that kid when you were in school who, like, never hurt a fly, was always really nice to the teacher, was always really nice to everybody? That's Scott McTominay for me. Like, every single manager since Sir Alex Ferguson has loved Scott McTominay. And I'm always asking myself why. And I think they like him because of his mentality, because of his attitude. Obviously, he's come through the youth academy. He doesn't cause trouble. And all of those things are great. They are. And he's never let us down. But I just don't think that if we're trying to get back to being title contenders or even getting top 4 every single year, like, Scott McTominay isn't the man to do that, you know? And he probably would understand that as well. He'd understand that going to Fulham to become a starting player and earning bigger money is probably the best thing for his career. Because if we get Ugarte, McTominay's never going to play. He'll probably be like 5th or 6th choice option. He might get 5 minutes here and there off the bench. So yeah, not too bothered about that one. I'm very, very happy. Nigel says Alex Ferguson loves McTominay. Yeah. Josh says I like McTominay because he single-handedly won us points last season. That's what, yeah, 100%, mate. I agree with you, right? As an impact sub, McTominay does a great job. He really, really does. But you can't have, in the situation we're in financially, because of the mess the Glazers have put us in, we can't turn down 30 million straight profit for somebody who might get us a goal in 2 or 3 games in a season off the bench. Like, we just can't do that. It doesn't make any sense. We're not a Man City who can have all of these players sat on the bench and, you know, not doing anything. So yeah, I'm happy about that, but you can let me know in the comments section your thoughts below. We've got over 800 people in the room now already, which is amazing. If everyone could do me a small favor and smash a like on today's video, that would be really, really appreciated. I've set a likes target of 1,000 for today's show, so if everybody who's watching right now likes the video, we should hit our target immediately. So go and do that right now. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 40k subscribers. When we hit 40k, I'm going to be giving out 2 of the new blue Manchester United shirts. So make sure you go and subscribe if you haven't already. When we hit 40k, 2 shirts up for grabs. Right, let's crack on with the rest of the news today then. So we're going to jump straight over to Lenny Yoro, because there has been a bit of an update on this. Coming out from a very reliable account who posts all of the stuff about injuries, about leaked team news. Apparently they get their news from inside the club. That's what I've been told. And they are reporting today that apparently Lenny Yoro will be out for around 3 to 6 weeks. Obviously that's devastating, but it could be a lot worse. When I saw him getting injured and I saw him on crutches with that ankle brace, I thought, that's it. He's going to be out for 4, 5, 6 months, you know? So 3 to 6 weeks in the grand scheme of things isn't too bad, right? Let's have a look at 3 weeks from now. So 3 weeks from now would be the 21st of July. We'll have only played 1 game of any meaning by that point. So if he comes back in 3 weeks from today, we'll literally have only played 1 Premier League game. If he was to come back in 6 weeks, we would have played 4 games in the Premier League if he came back in 6 weeks. So best case scenario, he misses the Fulham game at home. Worst case scenario, he misses Fulham, Brighton, Liverpool and Southampton. And I think, you know, being honest, Fulham at home, that has to be 3 points. Brighton away, I think we can beat them. Liverpool at home, I honestly think we could beat Liverpool at home. They've got a new manager. And then Southampton away, we have to win that as well. I honestly think that we have the potential to win 3 out of our first 4 games without Lenny Yoro. Fulham at home, definitely. Southampton away, definitely. Brighton away, I think we could win. And then Liverpool at home, maybe a draw or a win. So, yeah, I think we've kind of got a little bit lucky there, you know? So, obviously, I wish him a fast recovery. But, yeah, 3 to 6 weeks, which, as I said, worst case scenario, 4 Premier League games. best case scenario, 1 Premier League game. So yeah, not the end of the world. Eric Ten Hag is obviously going to speak about Lenny Yoro in his press conference tomorrow. So as soon as we get that press conference, I will go live. But yeah, it's not the end of the world, I don't think. And I said this earlier on today, that if Lenny Yoro had got injured like mid-season, it would be much worse. At least with this, it's still like 2 or 3 weeks until the Premier League starts. And even when the Premier League does start, it's only 1 game a week for the first like month or so, isn't it? And then there's an international break. So even if he was out for, say, 8 weeks, there's an international break, I think, after maybe is it the 3rd or 4th game? Where is it? I can't remember what date there is, but there's an international break that comes up. So yeah, obviously it's sad. Obviously it's, horrible to see your brand new signing walking around on crutches in an ankle brace. Like, that isn't nice to see. And it does make us feel like our season is going to be derailed. But I'm confident that with the squad we have, as long as we don't get any other injuries, I'm confident that we can get the results we need in those first 3 to 4 games. Fingers crossed. Obviously, anything can happen in a game of football. But yeah, I'm trying to be optimistic. What's the point in being negative? Like, where is that going to get us? So yeah, fingers crossed, 3 to 6 weeks. That's what's apparently being reported. Digital Sports Update says Lenny Yoro will come back stronger. I am optimistic. Yeah, of course. Somebody says, I like your positivity, but is that realistic with the way things are going? Yeah, I think so. I think it's realistic that we can beat Fulham at home. I think it's realistic that we can beat Southampton away. And I think it's realistic we can beat Brighton away. We beat Brighton away last season with the same team we've got now, if not worse. So yeah, I'm confident. I am confident. And the thing you have to remember as well is, obviously I know I said we play Liverpool, but they've got a new manager. They haven't signed anyone yet. Like, they're going to be on a rebuild. So yeah, I'm confident. I think our first 4 games are relatively easy, realistically. I think. Obviously, no game in the Premier League is easy, but you get what I'm saying. It's not like we're playing Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, and someone else. But let's move over to Joao Neves then, shall we? Because the news dropped about half an hour ago, I think it was. The confirmation that Joao Neves has agreed a deal with PSG. This has been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. Really, really happy about that. Well, I'm happy that deal has been confirmed. Not for PSG, but because it will allow us to get Ugarte. I'm actually pretty disappointed in some ways, and that's going to sound a little bit strange, but PSG have got him for only 60 million euros. Plus, they've given them Renato Sanchez on loan. 60 million euros, right, is less money than what they're asking for Manuel Ugarte. It's only £50 million. That is... I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I do feel a little bit disappointed that we missed out on him. But we have to trust Ineos. We have to trust Ten Hag. And being completely honest, Joao Neves would be in the same position as Kobbie Mainoo. He's not a number 6. He's not a CDM. So if you brought Joao Neves in, you wouldn't be able to play Mainoo, Neves and Bruno anyway, because none of them are really that defence-minded. Obviously, Mainoo can do the defensive stuff, but I think he is going to be more of a box-to-box midfielder than like a specialist CDM, personally. But yeah, so Joao Neves to PSG, 60 million euros plus add-ons. And that should now open up the key to the door to bring Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United, which is really, really exciting. When that deal will happen, that's the $1 million question. And I don't know the answer to it. I'm not going to pretend that I do. But my guess is that we'll probably get the here we go for Manuel Ugarte this week or next. Obviously, Fulham are set to buy McTominay, which will then free up the funds for us to go and get Manuel Ugarte. So when you look at it like that, in football, there's always a domino effect, right? Where one player leaves a club and then another player, blah, blah, blah. And it all falls down the system, right? So with McTominay going to Fulham and Joao Neves going to PSG, this now means that Manchester United will have the funds to submit the bid for Manuel Ugarte. It might even mean they have the funds to submit the bid for Matthias De Ligt, because you have to remember that Man United are spreading their transfers over like a 4 or 5 year period. So in relation to Xerxes and Lenny Yoro, we've split that transfer fee over, I think, the next 3 or 4 seasons. So we're only paying like £10 million per player this season, roughly. Obviously, it's not the exact amount, but something like that. So yeah, that's what I expect Manchester United to do with Matthias De Ligt and Manuel Ugarte. So yeah, I'm happy. Somebody's asking what camera I use. I've just got a Logitech one at the moment, mate. It's like a £200 Logitech one. I do want to get a more fancy one, but I haven't got around to it yet. Okay, let's move on from that, though, and let's move over to Manuel Ugarte then quickly, shall we? Because the story still coming out on Ugarte is that apparently Manchester United are trying to do a loan deal, okay, with an obligation to buy at the end of it. I would be happy with that. It obviously allows us to spend more money this window, which we need. And multiple different people are now reporting that because of the Joao Neves deal going through, Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United will now move pretty quickly. How quickly, no one knows. But the way that Manchester United and Ineos have operated so far, I think that it's going to be an obligation. Sorry, a loan with an obligation to buy at the end of it. I'm pretty sure of that. The reason why Manchester United want to do that is because they know they need to strengthen in multiple positions this window. And they must feel that next summer they'll have more money. Because we spoke about this on the show before, right? There's loads of players at the club who are kind of refusing to leave, right? People like Maguire, etc. There's 10 players whose contracts expire next summer. And obviously all of that money and wages will be saved. And some of those are the biggest earners. You've got people like Eriksen, Maguire, obviously Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Like most of the players who are up for sale at the moment are those whose contracts expires this time next year. So that's effectively why Manchester United are willing to sell people like Wan-Bissaka, McTominay, Victor Lindelof, Pellistri, Eriksen, Hannibal, etc. Because their contracts all expire. So if we fail to get rid of them this summer, they will leave next summer for free, right? And that will then free up loads and loads of money in our wages. So although it will be frustrating that we won't make a transfer fee on some of them, we obviously will save a lot of wages. Somebody's saying that he doesn't see De Ligt happening. Why do you not see De Ligt happening? We're going to sign a centre-back. We have to. We don't have an option. At the moment, our centre-back options are worse than they were last year. Because last year, we had Cambuala and Varane. Now all we have is Lenny Yoro and he's injured. So they 100% will sign another centre-back. And you saying that you don't think it's going to be De Ligt, like, who do you think it's going to be instead? You really think that we're going to go and buy Branthwaite for 70 million? There's some more Lenny Yoro news just broke. It's saying that apparently Lenny Yoro is set to miss the first 3 Premier League games of the season with a metatarsal injury. So yeah, that's what I just said a couple of minutes ago. He'll be out for about 3 games. So yeah, obviously I wish Lenny Yoro a fast recovery. Very, very sad, but it could be a hell of a lot worse. So yeah, that's better. But yeah, the person in the chat who says they don't think we're going to get De Ligt, like, who do you think we're going to go for instead? I don't really understand. You know, the story that we've been told from time and time again is that once Lindelof is sold, we will get De Ligt. And I still think that's the case. You know, Lindelof apparently is in talks with Fenerbahce. And once that deal reaches its conclusion, we will then formalise the deal for De Ligt. Obviously, we brought you the news earlier on today that apparently De Ligt hasn't travelled with the Bayern Munich squad for their tour of South Korea. I mean, what more of an indication do you need to know that he's coming to Manchester United? He's due back in Munich tomorrow, right, to train, and he hasn't gone with the team, and they're setting off tomorrow. So it's pretty clear that Bayern Munich don't want him. We've got a super chat coming in here from Ant, who says, could we be waiting on a Todibo legal challenge? I mean, maybe. That would be a massive surprise, wouldn't it? I don't think so, though. I think Todibo to Manchester United is not going to happen. Yeah. But you never know in football. You never know. Somebody says, why don't we try and swap Maguire for Branthwaite plus 20 million? If they manage to pull that off, that would be one of the best transfers I think I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, and big ups, by the way, Ant, for your super chat. I really, really appreciate that. What else have we got here? I would honestly be shocked if... So Macmillan says, United want to sign a left-sided centre-back. De Ligt was a Lenny Yoro backup. But none of the players that we're looking at are left-sided centre-backs. Branthwaite isn't. So who is this left-sided centre-back that you're talking about? And as well, to the person who did the super chat, Ant, I think it was. Obviously, Todibo's going to Juventus, I believe, isn't he? I think that deal's already been agreed. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to get a deal over the line for Todibo. I think it's very, very unlikely. But again, you never know in football. Maybe something crazy happens. But as it stands, I think Todibo is definitely not going to happen. Very, very surprised. Okay, let's move over to Wan-Bissaka then quickly, shall we? So, the news this afternoon is that apparently Manchester United are still in talks with West Ham over a deal for Wan-Bissaka. Apparently, Man United are demanding £20 million, including add-ons, and effectively, West Ham aren't willing to pay that. They want to pay closer to 15. Wan-Bissaka has now apparently agreed to the move, so he's agreed personal terms with West Ham. It's just up to Manchester United to agree a sale price. I think 15 is a little bit low, to be honest, for Wan-Bissaka. So I agree with Manchester United stamping their feet in the ground. I think you should be at least getting 18, 20 million for Wan-Bissaka because he is a decent player. He's not bad. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that one. But apparently, just to give you completely fair reporting, apparently Mazraoui has gone on the pre-season tour with Bayern Munich. Okay? So just to clarify, De Ligt, who is not injured and available, hasn't travelled with the squad to go to South Korea with Bayern Munich. But apparently Mazraoui has. I don't know what to make of that. Maybe Manchester United have told Bayern Munich that they think the Wan-Bissaka deal is going to take a little while. And that's why he's gone. So yeah, we'll wait and see. Scott says both Branthwaite and De Ligt can play as left-sided centre-backs, right? Yeah, they can, yeah. Both of them can. So I don't really understand that whole thing. But, yeah. So we got... Yeah, as far as I'm aware, Branthwaite and De Ligt can both play as a left-sided centre-back. I might be wrong there, but you can let me know. We've got over 1,100 people watching the show live now, which is absolutely amazing. If everyone could do me a little favour and smash a like, that'd be really appreciated. We've only got 300 likes on the video, which is... Come on, we can do better than that. Let's try and get to 1,000. Everybody go and like the video right now. And make sure you subscribe as well. We're only 2 subscribers away from 34,300. And remember, 2 Man United kits will be given away. I like to give back to this community. So at 40k, we will give away 2 more kits. So go and do that right now. Malp says that Ugarte is only worth £40 million. I mean, that sounds about right. Ant says, I wonder if Yoro was promised a starting place to convince him to sign. Yeah, apparently he was, yeah. And I think that's fair, you know. I know we've only seen 2 halves of football of Lenny Yoro, but what I saw of him, he looks quality. Absolutely quality. So I've got no problem whatsoever with Lenny Yoro being told that he can start for Manchester United. You know? But, yeah, you can let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section. Should Lenny Yoro be starting? I think 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. But... yeah. There's some breaking news coming out here, which has caught me by surprise. Apparently, Steve McLaren is going to become the new manager of the Jamaica national team. I wasn't expecting that. But, okay, fair enough. Very strange. Very, very strange. But fair play to Steve McLaren. Obviously, he's not the assistant manager anymore. He's been demoted from that position. So, yeah, I don't really know what to say about that. Let's see what else people are saying in the chat today. Rajat says, I think De Ligt will start. I can't see Lenny Yoro starting very much. Maybe. Maybe. Liam says we have 4 competitions to play in, plenty of games for 4 centre-backs to get lots of game time. Yeah, the way that football goes these days, the likelihood of somebody getting injured is extremely likely. And I know that's not going to please some people, but that is the reality of football these days. You know, everybody is getting injuries left, right, and centre, and the likelihood of Manchester United, going a whole season without injuries in their centre back position is extremely unlikely, isn't it? Realistically. But yeah, we'll wait and see. I hope that we have an injury-ridden season. Sorry, an injury-free season. Not an injury-ridden season. An injury-free season. I hope this year's our lucky year, because last year was terrible in the injury department, wasn't it? Absolutely awful. Which I think we'll all agree on. Right, what else are people saying in the chat? Lots of people talking about Steve McLaren going to become the Jamaica manager. Apparently, we're going to get the official announcement on Chido Obi Martin this evening, by the way. So that's something to look forward to. I don't know what time, but at some point today, we should get him wearing the shirt and all the rest of it. So that's good. That should bring the mood up a little bit, shouldn't it? I think that's pretty much everything I had planned for the show, to be honest. There isn't loads going on right now. So I don't want to drag on the video if there's nothing particularly to talk about, to be honest with you guys. Yeah, I think that's probably it, you know. I want to keep going, I want to keep talking, I want to discuss other things, but I don't want to we'll talk about this quickly actually. Apparently the other clubs that were interested in Chido Obi Martin included Borussia Dortmund, so that's interesting. You know, there's always these rival fans saying that Chido Obi Martin only signed for Manchester United because of money, but that was quickly squashed by Sky Sports, who said that he had offers of more money to go to other leagues. So, yeah, that's that. And apparently one of those clubs was Dortmund, who offered him more money to go to the Bundesliga. There's a little bit of an update on Rasmus Højlund. Apparently Rasmus Højlund won't be in the squad for the game against Real Betis tonight. He will be back, however, in time for the Community Shield on the 10th of August. So that's good. I have no problem with that. You know, he's still apparently training, but just not going to be taking part in the games. But I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. It feels like a good point to end today's show. Make sure you smash a like on the video before you go. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Doesn't cost any money. I'm just going to read out the results of the poll. Wow, 95% of people watching today's video said they're happy with 30 million for Scott McTominay, and 5% of you aren't. So there you go. There's a very happy fan base tonight by the sounds of it. But yeah, have a great evening, everybody. I'll be back at 8:30 tomorrow morning for the next live show. There probably will be a little video this evening at like 9-10 o'clock with the latest updates. Have a great evening. Enjoy the game against Real Betis. I won't be doing a watch along for it because it's at like 3 in the morning, but I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Bye for now.